I didn't want to record like me eating a chicken teriyaki on a steak. Where are we at? And where do we start at on this one?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out.
6, 7?
6. We did
Did Pete
6
give
to
her
11.
drugs yet? Yeah, Pete gave her drugs, right?
I don't think so. Well, he did in this part that we read
Right,
just last time.
right. So that was 6. So I think we're starting on 7.
I started on 6.
No, we
Okay,
started on
whatever.
6. Yeah, my bad. Because I definitely
Okay.
remember reading that this time.
Okay. So 6. Well, Pete drugs her wife. So nobody asked
Yeah,
Google. I don't know why she's answering.
when I first
I
read,
said, sorry. I said Pete drugs his wife, and Google said she didn't understand.
when I first read the section, I didn't realize that this was like omniscient point of view or whatever. Because I thought Wilma had found out, and I was like, she's gonna kill you. But no, she has no idea.
Is it me, or do the people in this town go to murder really fast?
I mean, it wasn't hard to call, but like I said that last time, like Brian is gonna get people killed. Like Wilma is obviously on a hair trigger, and Nettie already killed it once out of emotion. So
I don't know that Nettie did anything wrong. They keep talking about how she only lost her marbles that one time. I was like, well, I don't know that that's what happened. The guy was fucking beating her. I don't know that you can say she went insane for a little bit and it won't happen again. I think she maybe fed up is more the point. But Wilma is, I mean, yeah, she's just been looking for her. But she finally I think she's one of the people that she gets in their face and everybody backs down. And this is maybe the first time in her life that nobody backed down. Not only that, escalated the fuck out of it with a meat cleaver.
well, yeah. Or she thought it was the rocks or the mud and the rocks before that.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, man, I gotta say, the guy's a genius. I mean, the dog was awful.
Yes.
I don't know why we
Yeah, I
had to
also
do that.
saw that coming. I don't know what I was thinking. I was hoping he wasn't going to describe it, but when I was reading it, I kept trying to look away, and I'm like, you can't look away from a sentence.
I was kind of squinching my eyes, like, come on, I don't want this to happen.
Yeah, I was skim reading at that point, and I was like, no, I see blood. Aw.
Yeah.
I like Hugh. I thought he had some potential, but he went right back to the bottom. He's worse than he was when he was just a drunk.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they're all, I mean, can we blame them? Or are they just possessed or some shit? I can't figure that part out. But it seems like they all have, and we've said this before in some other stories, maybe Tommy knockers, they were all kind of bad to begin with, and he just emphasized or enhanced what was already there.
I just feel like that's how he feels about all of Maine's small town.
Right? I mean, that maybe every book for that matter.
I would say one good measure is Brian, because he is I guess self-admitted, but seemingly was a good kid before who didn't really do anything wrong.
Brian's the only one that's, sorry, go ahead.
I was just to say it didn't take very much convincing to get him to, do these things.
Funny, he really wanted that damn baseball card. Funny how he discovers how much he wanted that damn baseball card.
So that's why I think it's much more, that they're under a spell or that something is using them than it is their own free will.
Yeah.
I would agree.
But, Brian actually says, whoa, I don't want to do this anymore. Fuck this shit. And he's like, it's a little late for that, isn't it? I'm sorry you figured out that this is stupid and awful, but yeah, you can't stop now. Is that, or he was going to do what? Tell somebody? I was like, well, I think at that point you just have to go ahead and tell somebody and suck it up.
What I remember is that thought he was done. And he was like, I don't want to do any more. And he was like, I didn't say it was just one task, did I? I'm like, you kind of did. Isn't that implied? But
well, he didn't
play a trick. Aid signifies one, not play some tricks.
Yeah, he also took advantage of him because it's a kid, and Mr. Gaunt knows best. What? No, why? First of all, this is the new guy in town. Nobody trusts him yet. It takes 25 years or something.
Well, it's interesting. I don't know if he has them repeat that because he draws power from it, or if it just reinforces that he is who they should listen to.
It's almost like casting a spell on him by making him so.
Right.
It's getting fun though. I gotta say that much. I want to see where this Buster and Norris thing goes. I guess they're going to be in the street too. Huh?
All of this section, I felt like I was on edge. It's just oh my god, buzzing. What is happening? What's gonna happen? You're not that far from a tragedy, with Wilma and Nettie.
Yeah, I knew where that ended up, but I'm still reading it the whole time with this impending sense of dread. Oh god. I knew they were going to be in the street with a meat cleaver and a butcher knife, but getting there was so tension filled because every little thing, Nettie's over it talking to Mr. going while Hugh's in her house. Like everything was so close and so like on edge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, especially Nettie in Buster's house.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was like,
Well, and
oh
even the
god.
fact
She was like,
that
he
he
was like eight
sent her
miles.
there. I was gonna say the fact that he sent her there so that it would. Well, I don't know if he did this on purpose, but it gives Pangborn's timeline enough time for her to do the things because she was at Buster's house.
Do you think he cares about that?
Actually, probably.
But yeah, because he's worried about Alan figuring him out.
It's like he's going to be out of
Well,
town before Alan
kind of.
knows what even happened.
Right. He's not that worried. Still, it was planned or not. It all worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I actually want to go read that last part again where Alan was working on the timeline because I was kind of getting lost in the middle there. Like, wait, but I think the point is it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Nobody's going like, why didn't Nettie? So all like Wilma had to do was push Nettie a little bit. Well, I guess a dog's not a little bit. What did they say? All
To be
this,
honest,
two women like fighting in the street over a rescue dog or something. Like, well, wait a minute. Why does any of that take away from how much she cares about the dog?
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say I have a rescue dog and I would kill anyone who tried to hurt her.
I mean, I got two
right.
and
I'm actually way more surprised by Wilma's reaction than Nettie's. Hers makes most sense of all.
well, I gotta say, I would be slightly upset if I came home and every fucking one of my windows was broke and my TV.
Yeah, I don't know what I would feel. I can't put myself in those shoes, but I don't think I would feel like murdering someone.
Yeah.
Someone like Wilma, though, that would be, they're putting her like a, ticking time bomb just waiting to blow, and all he did was light the fuse. So, like, this was gonna happen at some point. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened before. Maybe we
I
have
mean,
Pete to thank
that's
for that.
true. So I guess it was just like the perfect flame at the right time. Perfect match to light the flame
Yeah, like she's
or
dropping Pete
whatever.
off, and then she gets home, and then Nettie's over there, and then Brian's over here. Like, oh my god, everybody go the fuck away! This is too close. And plus, I knew that, like, I knew what he was gonna do, and don't remember everything from this book, but I remember something that's like one of the scenes, them two in the street, that just like has stuck in my head since I read it the first time. Like when I think Needful Things, I think of a meat cleaver and a butcher knife, and two like middle-aged women in like dresses, like swinging them at each other in the middle of an intersection.
He even said they look like gunslingers in a spaghetti western.
Yeah.
I hear he's a fan of those. Speaking of, did you read what was the Dark Tower update? It wasn't even much.
Oh,
It was
crap.
like, yeah, I'm
I
working
totally
on it.
forgot to read that.
He was like, yes, you guys are asking me about it, but guess what? Stephen King's asking me about it too. So it's a slow process. And if you think I'm going to let him down, you're out of your goddamn mind. So just wait until it's ready. Basically.
I mean, that's
I mean, that's
kind of fair.
a fair answer.
Yeah. I mean, he said it's so big, he's going to do it right. It just takes time. And it's clearly not the only thing he's working on. Fuck. I wish he would put everything down and just
I
work on
mean,
that.
I would rather, I would rather do it the way it deserves, no matter. I mean, as long as it comes out before I die.
That's what I was thinking. Like, fuck. I mean, I've been waiting 25 years at this point. He says, I think movie and 5-season TV show. I don't know. Is that new
Damn.
news? I'm not sure.
Related to each other
Well,
or
for the Dark Tower,
separate?
I mean, yes. What do you mean?
Like, do you have a movie and then you have a show after the movie to continue on, or vice versa, or what?
I think so. I think it starts with the movie. And maybe Eddie and Susanna will be in this one.
Or like you do the movie and then the show is like,
I think the
I don't
show
know, like
continues where the movie
flashbacks.
left off. I mean, it depends on there's so many unanswered. Is he going to follow like the books, or is he going to jump around, or is he going to just, scene going to fade into a desert and there's going to be somebody chasing somebody across it, as it were. I mean, I kind of hope.
Well, if it's a movie and then 5 seasons of a TV show, I feel like it would make sense for the movie to be the gunslinger and then everything else to follow as the tower.
The movie almost has to go until Eddie and Susanna get there and then go to the TV show. They have to get everybody there. Or then they have to get Jake there
Still
too,
so
because he,
I feel like a show is a weird way to carry such a weight of the ending of that series, though. I
doesn't
mean, I
end.
guess
It
it
gives
gives it
you more
more
time.
time, right? That's true. As long as it's done well.
I think it should
Actually,
be
you know
animated
what? I'm kind of
almost.
changing my opinion already because I feel like that could be really fun.
Yeah. Well, and shows have huge budgets now. Like, think about Game of Thrones and how much CGI and stuff that had.
That's
Yeah, we
true.
also got an episode every 4 years. Hated Game of
He wasn't
Thrones.
writing the episode.
No,
I wonder how he feels that they had to continue writing without him.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Probably not good considering everybody hates it. Well, at least that I know.
what? A Game of Thrones?
The ending of Game of Thrones, at least, not the new series.
Oh, so bad. I hope that wasn't what he had planned. I don't think he knew what he had planned. He was just fucking HBO gave him like fucking $500 million, and he was living in Tahiti, living, sipping on margaritas. He's like,
He's
yeah, I'll
kind of
get
my
back to
favorite
that.
because if he does
I
finish
thought
it,
he
now he
was
knows what
consulted and like said what he wanted to do for the ending.
That's what they
he
say.
said
I'm not
he
sure how much
was.
of that is true.
Right, because now he can be like, not like that.
Oh, everyone hated it? That wasn't what I meant.
I mean, he's been trying to finish book 6 for, when did I read book 5? 17? And the end of book 5 says book 6 is coming soon.
I mean, in terms of a novelist, it's still a great accomplishment. It's just we're used to Stephen King, so it's not a fair comparison.
Yeah, nothing's fair with that guy. He fucking, you know, goes to the bathroom and comes out with a book. But, it's weird because fans like want it to be resolved, but what's his name famously says, they don't owe you anything. Yes,
Yeah,
but I've invested a lot of time in this at this point. Like I kind of want resolution. But I hear there's a guy that says it's more about the journey and who cares about the end because he's not very good at the whole wrapping it up part, except for a couple times. This might be one of them. We'll find out. I think I remember liking this one, and at least I didn't hate it. So anyway, back to Needful Things. Well, and Life of Chuck came out yesterday, Friday.
yeah.
So I think we're going next weekend
Nice.
because we have a monkey
Forgot
to
it was a
watch too.
movie.
Right. I gave you If It Bleeds or Not. That's what Life of Chuck was in. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I don't. I have to look at my bookshelf.
And if if we're doing new books when they come out, Never Flinch came out last week. So
I feel like we would have to read
that's a good question. I'm not
more about
sure if we
Chloe
do.
first.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it would help to know her background for sure. You'd have to go all the way back and read The Outsider. And then there's 3 seasons of Outsider TV shows. So you can see Holly on the screen. And then there's the book before this one. No, then there's the story about Holly and If It Bleeds, and then there's the book before this one, and then this one. So that's like 3.5 or 2.5 to get to the new one. Always a catch with this guy. So anyway, just thought I'm not sure I want to go down the Holly road.
I wrote down in my notes that he is more afraid of Wilma destroying her lampshade than actually killing her.
That's the thing that I was thinking about with and I'm sure it's on purpose. Every one of these possessions, they don't enjoy them. They're so
Yep.
obsessed about something happening to him, they can't. Fuck, Nettie couldn't even get at the goddamn house. He called in sick.
You were talking about something. I don't remember when we were on the phone. You were talking about somebody who had like OCD like that, and it reminded me so much of Nettie. She's like, whatever that phrase was, where it's like, "It is locked. I know it's locked, but what if it's not?"
I was just fucking cut her arm to prove that it was. Like, oh,
To be honest, it's not like that's what they say to do. I wouldn't like maim yourself, but like make something visible so you can refer to it.
I'm not sure why that would make me okay. Like, okay, maybe I just scratched my arm and forgot to lock the door anyway.
Well, it's not like OCD is not something that makes sense. So
Well, right. I'm not, just don't think, I'm not sure that would work for me. I don't have to go back and check the door, the oven anyway.
I used to have this with my car for some reason. Like I don't have it anymore because I lock the doors all the time, or I can lock it from my phone. But I used to like have the key put away and then be like, "Wait, is it locked? What if it's not locked?" And then I have to go check, and then I'd be like walking away, and then I'd check again, and like I don't remember what I did to eventually get over that, but it gave me that same feeling where it's like, remember the sound the honk made when you locked the door. That's how you know you locked it and you're good.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't ever, yeah, I don't care if my car's locked. So
I
I don't,
mean, now I don't really care. I don't even know why I cared at the time, but I remember I would put the key away and then have to take it out like a lot.
I leave my house unlocked and go to the store. I don't tell Michelle because she'll freak. I like to do it to myself. Plus, we got 45 cameras. Who gives a fuck? Go ahead. If they want
Also,
something like a locked door is not going to stop 'em.
I think we were talking about it last time, but he confirmed that he only makes like his special deals when there's only one person in the store.
Yeah.
Yes, there are normal customers because I think we were wondering that last time. If everybody
Yeah.
had a special deal, but there were some normal people. Like, who was it? Brian's mom masturbating Elvis's glasses or something.
Well, yeah. But
Yes. Yeah, so Pete's giving Wilma Xanax, but Wilma's like, she's like telling her, I was like, I'm gonna go fuck with Nettie. I'll be, I'll see you in an hour or two. I'm gonna call her and drive by her house. Like, what? You're purposely trying to fuck with her and rile her up and then, get what you get at that point.
well, I don't think she believes in any world that Nettie would do anything but be afraid of her.
Right.
Yeah.
But, and I think that's true, except for the dog.
Well, that's why it's so shocking. Like, I kind of like that in a way, or like Wilma was trying to surprise her, and then Nettie's charging at her with a meat cleaver. She was like, "What the hell?"
She's like, oh, okay, this is going to get, yeah, what did she say? Not only was she up to the task, she was escalating it or something like that. Like, she's got a
It
weapon in
also,
her hand too. Well, why did Wilma grab the knife? Was she planning on stabbing Nettie? Was she that mad? I know Nettie
that's what I
wasn't.
said.
Oh, did you? No, sorry.
I said her reaction was a little bit much because, like, I don't think I would immediately run to murder.
That was what I was saying in the beginning. Everybody goes to murder right away. Fucking Buster's ready to kill Norris, and Norris. Oh, we don't know what Norris found, do we? Or his present is, do we?
Yeah,
We
we
do.
do.
He opened the rat trap.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah. Why does he associate that to Buster?
Because he knows Buster doesn't like him.
Yeah, it's funny.
Who
It's just
else?
all assumptions that make this happen. It's kind of funny. That's why I like it.
Well, it is
Well,
kind
but
of like who else would do that?
Right? Maybe the new guy.
with Norris specifically, it is. But with Wilma and Nettie, there were at least notes that made it seem like it was the other person.
That's true. He did
Yeah.
definitely lead them in a certain direction.
Yeah.
So they were probably both confused, and they're like, "Let's leave my dog alone." And she's like, "Why'd you break my windows?" And everybody's like, "What? What?" Like, I would have been surprised if they both like stopped for a second and said, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Wait a minute.
Yeah, what the? I mean, yes, we all know. I just think it's funny. She's arguing with her over a barking dog. I sat out on my back porch this morning for the same reason.
I don't
Fred
even.
was,
I mean, I'm sure it started about the dog, but I don't even think it was about that for her.
Yeah.
no, it was about the sheets. It was about someone actually getting Wilma back at that point. Wait, you mean for Nettie? Wait, no, no, no.
Well, even before that, like she would still harass her, and then he's like, the dog doesn't even bark anymore.
Right, right, yeah. And she had identified the weakest link, and she was gonna like bully her because she could,
Yep,
because
it's
that's who
fun
she
for
was.
her.
So what was she like that Pete married her? My God.
That's why I wrote that in my notes. I was like, dude, why are you still married to her if you have to drug her so she won't kill people?
You're like, well, I'm fucking Catholics. Wait, are they Lester Pratt's crowd or are they the Reverend Willie's crowd?
I think they're Pratt, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're Catholic. Because they were talking to the pastor about casino night.
Yeah, they were. It was something like in favor of casino night.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to. That's more than one-on-one. I guess I'll just say that.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't actually remember what happens between them two, so I'm in the dark at the moment. I haven't read this one in a while. This is always one of my favorites because it's just so much fun. The way everybody's fucking just starts going at each other.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's very Stephen King, but it's also different, I feel like, from a lot that we've read lately.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Michelle that. Like, I think Amber's into this book in a way that she hasn't been in the last, couple of books or so. She's like ahead and ready and like, I'm like, yeah, it's a fun one. That's what I said. Fred, oh, we got Fred ahead at the store because that's what we do. Fiona walked by it and Fred growled and like snapped at her, which he's never done before. And I was like, oh my God, Fred, you're like Needful Things. You're like so obsessed you can't even enjoy it. Afraid somebody's gonna take it.
I kind of like feel bad for this town too, in a way that I don't normally, other than like the kids. Like, he is just playing on with people's lives for no reason, self-admittedly for no reason.
Well, it's worse than that, which I didn't realize or remember when he's like just like reminiscing or what near the end, I think it is. And he's like, well, I just do it because it's fun. I mean, I'll take the souls and I'll bag them just because, but it's about the fun for me. I don't care about the souls. So he's like taking people's souls because he doesn't give a fuck and he's bored, apparently.
That's what I was saying. It's like for no reason.
Yeah, well, I
Well,
meant
and
it goes it's deeper than lies is all I meant. Like he's taking their eternity away.
so is that kind of confirming that he's like a demon, or I didn't quite
He
get.
reminds, I can't remember the type of demon, but the same thing that like Pennywise and Dandelo are, where it's like emotional. Their power comes from emotion sucking.
Mm,
Pennywise is fear, Dandelo is laughter.
He kind of reminds me of Flag. He's kind of like shows up and fucks shit up.
Well, 100%. I'm still waiting for him to like say, and my name is Walter or whatever.
Yeah, right. I'm waiting for him to snicker. If he snickers, it's over. He doesn't seem like a snickering type thing. Flag's way too much fun
Also,
for this guy.
I wrote down I like the quote. He says, it's that, because when the years were long, you took the virgin where you could find it. I'm like, are you implying that immortality will lead to evil? Because you get bored?
Well, it's a long time. Right?
They're like, I was good for like the first couple thousand years, and then
Yeah.
I got bored.
The first 100 million, I was like working on puzzles and shit.
But white is the best.
Yeah, that there's yeah. What is it? 4 billion? No, wait. what's the universe? 13 billion years old. Oh, that's a long time. That's, you know, space and time and distance is too big to even wrap your head around. Us and our, what's the, we get 80 years with luck or even less. Just the song.
I don't know what you're
No,
talking about.
there's Pink Floyd song. You get, what does it say? Life is a short, warm moment. Death is a long, cold rest, but you get your chance to try in the twinkling of an eye in 80 years with luck or mostly less. Something like that. So when you live about 70 years on average, it's hard to imagine what 4 billion years is like.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's my argument against eternity.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like it feels like he's implying. I mean, I could see it because it's like, yeah, it's hard for people to stay good for one lifetime, let alone an infinite amount of lifetime.
I mean, maybe this is like he's trying to be evil this time, and the next time around, go back to like normal. He's just checking that out. He said he's bored. He didn't say he's bored, but he's doing it for the amusement. And what's the lampshade made of that Nettie's obsessed with?
Carnival clock?
Carnival glass.
Yeah, what the hell's that?
I don't know.
Just like I
Yeah.
just picture these little like figures like you would see at the glass blowing shop at the Ren Fair.
Yeah,
Maybe
he
like an
describes a lot
elephant.
of things, and I never know if they're real or not. And sometimes I look them up, and sometimes I just go with it.
Yeah, oh, well, the lampshade threw me. I wasn't expecting a carnival glass lampshade. I was like, okay, do you use
I'm
that or is
picturing
that just decoration?
Grammy actually has a lamp. It's like a glass mosaic lampshade. I'm wondering if it looks like that.
Like in a church, like a stained glass or something?
Hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, like brightly colored glass, maybe.
To me, it's all the ring from Lord of the Rings, so it doesn't matter.
One ring to rule. That's just speaking of a test and can't enjoy it. He probably went to Needful Things too for the ring.
Well, Polly's new amulet gives me ring vibes for sure, especially with her wearing it around her neck. I'm like, girl, don't. I don't like it.
But yeah, the
That
slithering, that's such a good word.
Yeah,
that actually made me think of Rosemary's Baby.
Oof, that's
I
some
don't know the story, to be honest.
having the devil's baby, right? Or is that Audrey Rose? Or is that both of them?
No, so Rosemary was having the devil's baby, but they had her eating like raw meat and raw eggs, and
Right.
she was wearing a little charm with like some sort of an herb in it that had some sort of satanic
Oh,
purpose.
I didn't remember that part.
I don't
Interesting.
I read the book kind of recently. I haven't actually seen the movie, so I don't know if that was in the movie, but
I
it's
don't,
definitely
that's the Mia Farrow one, right?
yeah.
I don't remember. I haven't seen that in 40 years. That was like scary before there was like scary movies. The only other one at the time was, or that was before The Exorcist. I guess put it that way. Wasn't that Polanski, Rosemary's Baby, before he got kicked out of the country and his wife died and all that?
Yeah.
Notice how I said wife died, not other stuff. So, yeah, the whole slithering thing on the neck, I was not a fan of. And Alan, what was it? He almost noticed it, but then he was too distracted by what happened.
I think he noticed it, but he didn't like place any significance to it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Why would he? Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's dangerous. And especially this whole clause of now you can't ever take it off. It made me think of the mask from Goosebumps. I'm like, that's gonna get stuck to you, or it's gonna take over you, or something.
As soon as he like said it's cumulative and if you take it off, it'll all come back at once, I was like, yep, that's gonna happen. There's no way that's
Ah,
not gonna happen.
Hmm.
oh, I didn't even think about that. It will, or somebody will pull it off her, and then she'll be like
Right.
unable to
Probably
do
Alan, if
anything.
I had to guess, because there's gonna be some kind of like fight there, I'm assuming. He's gonna be like,
I'm
take this.
picturing it more like Gaunt like pulls it from her magically, like while she's trying to fight him off or something.
Yeah. And she just like collapses because she's in so much pain or something. It's like
Right.
at some time where she's gonna be needed, she won't be able to help because she'll be in terrible pain.
Yep. Or possessed.
Did we know anyone else? I've never heard of anyone in their 40s whose hands are so fucked up like that that they can't function. I mean, I'm sure it's
Sure, it can
happened,
happen.
but
Yeah.
but damn, like I get surprised how bad her hands are every time. Maybe you should have made her older. If her hands are gonna be that bad.
Well, to say like she can't even lift her hands up around his neck is like I don't
Yeah.
like you don't
You
I
couldn't
don't
answer the
understand
phone.
that. I guess I've
Answering the
never been in
phone
them.
makes sense, yeah, but yeah, not being able to like lift her hands to give him a hug. I'm like, but that's not your hands, that's your arms. Like,
Right.
Maybe they throb when they're like, could the blood flow? No, that would be the opposite. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna try to figure that out. Most of the items he sold were nice, but in no way unique. He did, however, make a number of special deals, and all these sales took place during those lulls when there was only a single customer. That makes me think, what did we read? And I hope it's not this, where like everybody thought how special these things were, but in reality they were like broken down and old and rusted and not worth a fuck.
Well, there has to be some element of that. Like, there's definitely magic here because he always has the exact item that they want, including, which I was not expecting, child sex abuse material.
Yeah. The whole time I'm like, oh God. But like, and then they're like 17. I'm like, well, not great, but not 12. Like, at least you're pretty
It
close.
is better, but
Yeah.
yeah, at least he still said it's, illegal. Like, I was shocked. I was like, I know you can get anything, but I wasn't thinking of that.
I mean, could we have been illegal like in a different direction? There's many other avenues to explore there.
So there's definitely some magic, whether it's an illusion or whether he's able to conjure these items on site or whatever.
Yeah, I think they're enchanted, and like at some point the spell's gonna break, and they're gonna be like, I just like sold my soul for that.
Right.
They're like,
I don't know if they'll be thinking much by that point.
well,
Yeah.
you'll be.
I think a lot of them will be dead.
Also, I had to look it up. Debilitating early onset arthritis happens to 30% of people who get osteoarthritis overall. So it's common.
So how many people get osteoarthritis?
Well, let
See,
me look.
if it's 1%, then 30% of 1%,
I mean, that's still not nobody.
it's still not enough to care about.
You just said, have you ever met anybody?
Well,
So I was looking it
there's
up.
still the same answer, no. And I hope not to, because it sounds awful, and I hope I don't know anybody that has to go through that. My God.
Well, she's also clearly she reminds me of House. Like, she's got a pain pill problem.
Hmm.
I think that just started. At least it seems like it, because she seems to be taking it, like it's getting worse since we've met her, and she's taking more.
Yeah. We found out, well, I don't know if you're going on, but we found out what happened to her baby, which I don't understand why she even lied about.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking
That
about on
seemed,
the phone. Sorry, go ahead.
no, it just seemed weird. It's like, yeah, it's awful that it happened, and I get why you maybe wouldn't want an entire town gossiping about that, but like, the man you're dating is not going to go and tell the entire town.
Yeah. Like, why tell, like, what's the difference between, I guess she feels like it was her fault for leaving the babysitter that could have caused the fire, but she doesn't know either way.
Yeah,
Like, how is that your fault?
like Alan, would knowing make you feel better? Did she like
Yeah.
did his wife do it on purpose?
I really like that whole thought process because it feels so natural, especially when you're grieving.
Yeah, it's such a like thought line for most people, you know. Well, I guess I should just say for me and most of my experiences, like you always wonder how much of like if you have any blame, whether you do or not. It doesn't make any sense most of the time. But he's doing the same thing. Like the way Alan's like grieving is it just feels like relatable again, always
Yeah. Yeah.
because he's spending a lot of time. So his wife, so we don't know. Wait, kind of skipped over Polly, so hold on. How is SIDS any better or worse than burning in a fire?
I think
I
in
don't,
her mind, it's her fault because she either left him with a babysitter to begin with or left him with a babysitter who she thinks could have caused the fire.
I'd have been looking at you sideways if you told me SIDS, because I'm like, why did your baby die for no reason? What did you do to it?
Maybe now that you say it like that, maybe like to process trauma, that gives her the most relief. It's like, well, he died for no reason. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think that makes it better, actually.
SIDS still a thing, or did they figure out that you're just supposed to turn the baby on?
Do you want me to look it up?
No, not really. I'm just kind of being facetious. I'm sure it's still a thing, but I feel like I don't hear about it as much as like 20, 30 years ago. Um, because we can
Well,
explain more now.
you're both right. It's still a thing, but the rate of SID has decreased significantly since the Back to Sleep campaign began in 1994.
So you sleep and you won't die? Go figure.
Well, I think it's like making sure they sleep in the right way. I don't know. Anyway.
It's that was what I always suspected. It was just, one year it was a pillow, the next year it was no pillow, and then it was blankets, and then put them on their back, and then put them on their stomach, and it's like nobody, Dr. Spock's of the world could never decide on which was the right way. So I guess the kids kept. Never mind. I'm not gonna finish that. Uh, so anyway, I don't really understand her shame in something. I feel like what she did was more out of her control than if someone would have told me.
Well, yeah, but as you just said, grief doesn't always make sense. So she has
No,
trauma she has not processed,
we're also
obviously.
talking like 20, 30 years ago.
Was it
I think
that
at
long?
least 20.
Yeah, that's true. Because she was like, yeah, she was young when she
He
got
was like
pregnant.
a kid and got knocked up and left town on a bus like a cliche. My God. So yeah, it's not like she hasn't. She's not still processing the damn grief, but she's still lying about it. I guess she's still processing it. Like, it was just Yeah. Yeah. I
She
can't.
may have just never processed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like I don't know people like that. Yeah. I don't
But
know.
she should still tell Alan. And I think it's so sweet that he knows she's lying and he's like, in time, she'll tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be doing that. I'd be like, you're lying. What the fuck really happened?
I know you killed your son.
Yeah. Right. Give me back my son. Or yeah, I don't know that I would have cared. I'm like, oh, okay. I probably, she would have told me that. I'd have taken it at face value and not cared unless she cared to tell me about it because everybody's got shit that's happened to them.
Yeah. Well, and he was still dealing with his grief too, so he wasn't like,
Right.
oh, share your grief with me just because I shared mine.
I mean,
Like,
that kind of
Yeah.
makes her worse, right? Because he put it all on the table right away, and like she helped him process some of that, so he could have done the same thing for her.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Maybe she just didn't feel like it was the same type of grief though, so which also doesn't make sense because he did lose a kid, like not only his wife but also a kid.
Yeah, and his actually lived for a little while. She never had a chance to get attached to hers. I don't know how old was her kid. Was it a couple of years or was it months?
yeah, I think it was like
Sid's
3.
isn't Sid's usually like infants? I think.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, and then hell yeah, Alan's got a kid that's grown up and still alive. How about that? I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, there's like, it's like an avenue he went down that he almost didn't need to, unless there's going to be some reason for it at the end, which there might be. But like, okay, so now he's got lost his family and the one he has left, they're, I guess, trying to figure out how to exist with each other after all this tragedy. But he doesn't really explore that angle. He just kind of mentions it and then goes back to, because she's like, well, does he want to come? And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure he hates me right now. Or he doesn't hate me, but he hates this town. And I guess the problem is he's still processing his own grief, but he's not like, he just seems to be okay with not talking to his kids. The only family he's got left.
I don't think it's that he's okay. It's just that he's letting his son grieve in his own way.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just got the impression like maybe he should have fought a little harder to like, I don't know, not let him get away too.
Well, I think he's still like 17, isn't he?
Oh, I assumed he was
Yeah.
in college or something because isn't he in college?
He's
I,
away at school, but I think it's not college. I think it's like a high school.
yeah.
Fancy places.
I think he's just like letting him spend time away, and maybe he'll move away forever because maybe the town is just too hard to live in. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, well, kind of like Polly, she didn't want to like the memories, but eventually I think she came back for her mom or something.
Well, when her dad was dying. Well, I guess when they both died.
Yeah, they're really nice people, huh?
You know, in a weird way, like they still cared. I know it's not like the best way, the most healthy way, but they could have just never talked to her again.
Yeah.
Is it me or is like every, I was gonna say person, but I guess woman that gets pregnant, and is, God forbid, not married, then gets in arguments with their mom, but not necessarily their dad. And then then they run out of the house on their own. Like I've seen this before,
I'm wondering who he saw this happen to because it wasn't him.
right? Well, maybe it happened to him and Tabby, but
Yeah, but
instead of being
weren't they
Jeff,
married?
no. Well, I don't know that. Wait a minute.
I don't know how old she was when the first one was pregnant or
I,
born.
I think I don't know. I don't, explore his personal life like that,
We've
but
only taken a tour of his life a couple times.
I've only toured his house, but I'm not into his personal life. His house is cooler. You got to tour his house. I
The
think they were.
cooler part for me is seeing, like, the coolest part, honestly, is probably the water tower.
Oh, because
Because it's so, and the bird feeder part, like, those two scenes are exactly the same as what I pictured.
those are cool because you can sit there on that bench and look this way for one and this way for the other, and like just
And
imagine him
read them.
sitting there, picturing it,
Yeah.
like creating it. Because
Yeah.
he would go there when he got stuck. So he'd take a walk and go down there. So he was stuck on what to do when those scenes were created, which is kind of awesome.
I just see the ghost child faces in the water, in the
Uh-huh.
windows of the tower.
That was
Mm.
Stan, right? No, actually Stan was both of them. Stan was no, Mike, wait. Which scene are you talking about with the birds?
Well, I said the bird feeder, but I meant the, what is that called? When it's a bird fountain? Water fountain? Whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I meant
whatever.
the fountain, and I'm talking about
Bird bath?
Stan's bird bath.
Right. A bird bath. Yeah. Okay. So not Mike's giant bird pipe thing.
No.
Yeah. So they were both Stan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see? He
And
kept
you're
getting
so
stuck
hard
on,
on him.
he kept getting stuck on Stan, and you know why? Because fuck
He went
Stan.
through a lot.
Fuck Stan. Piece of shit. Made Eddie die. So in Castle Rock, they knew about Frank Dodd, the cop who went crazy and killed the women, and Sheriff Bannerman's day. So that's the dead zone.
Oh yeah, I kept forgetting. I kept thinking it was Cujo.
Well, after that, they knew about Cujo, the St. Bernard, knew that the lakeside home of Thad Beaumont, novelist. By now, you guys should probably know that's the Dark Half.
No,
He keeps mentioning Thad Beaumont in this book.
I recognize that all of these are other Stephen King references, but I just don't care enough to like look it up.
I love them all.
I
Well,
looked it
I
up,
don't
but
look
I
them.
haven't. Yeah, Cujo's the only one I've read.
Now you've read Cujo 2. Cujo 2 also, which is his sequels.
It's not a Cujo sequel. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess, but is he
See,
even
that's my
in the
point.
story?
It is, who, Cujo? No, but
Is what's his name? Trenton even
yes.
in Cujo?
Yes, and that's a good point. He's not the main character for sure because she goes and cheats on him and they argue. In the beginning, I think he's maybe tailing her and catching her or something coming out of someone else's house or whatever. And so there's arguments and strained relationships. And then she goes to Cujo's house. So he's like in the first 100 page. Cujo was one of those books where I had to go, okay, I'll make it to 100 pages. If it's not any good by then, I'm putting it down. And it got just good enough after 100 pages with the dog fucking going crazy outside the car. But getting there was difficult for me. And so he's in like the first quarter of it.
Excuse me.
So to your point, he's really not the main protagonist of that book. So calling it a sequel, like I said, his sequels aren't
You
really.
called it a sequel.
Well, a part two. Anybody calling it a sequel, his books aren't. His sequels aren't really sequels. They're just like Rose the Hat and what's it called? Doctor Sleep. That could have been anybody. That didn't have to be Danny. That could have been anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black House. Whenever we get to that, didn't necessarily have to be Jack Sawyer, which is Talisman too. Like it's just like he's like, oh hey, how about this idea? It's like, oh, let me reuse one of my old guys for it. Or maybe he just goes out there and that's now that he's 30, 40 years down the road, that's what he's picturing where they're at now. Maybe that's the way that I don't know. Like I kind of like to see what happened to Danny when they left over. I imagine school was very interesting for that kid.
Well, we know what happened. That's not right after it.
So I broke down and paid $10 for the monkey.
Right.
There's a
Did you
scene
watch it
in
yet?
the. I mean, I might have, but doesn't mean we're not going to watch it again. It was interesting. Has anybody seen it? I know you haven't. Have you seen
No.
it, Allie?
Yeah.
Damn it, then we can't talk about it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about it next podcast because they've both
Okay.
seen it by then. But it was an
How come you
interesting.
can't talk about it now that Allie's seen it? I don't understand that logic.
Well, I was not as well. I kind of said that wrong, but I wasn't going to talk
Okay.
about it either way, and I forget where I was going.
Oh, okay.
The person in no, I can say this. It's somebody dies. Spoil. Her name's Annie Wilkes.
Okay.
The person that dies in like near the beginning is Annie Wilkes. I'm like, what?
Who is that again?
Misery.
Right.
Right. So
That's
that doesn't
interesting.
work at all. So I don't know what they're doing there. Just throwing an Easter egg in for the fuck of it, I guess.
Yeah, that is
Probably.
a weird one though. Like,
Because I had to look. I was like, wait, what? And then they said the name again. I was like, that they said Annie Wilkes. They said it twice now. That just I know that name. I don't have this wrong. What the fuck is she doing dead on a table at like 25 years old? So that was interesting. Anyway, I don't remember where I was going with that. And we have our obligatory Charles Whitman in the clock tower in Texas reference, who is now being almost as popular as Kennedy references at this point. My God, man. So let me figure out the two events that shaped your childhood. The other one I didn't know, though, substitute grammar school teacher in Illinois who killed several of her students before going home and putting a bullet in her own brain. I didn't care enough to look. I've not heard that one.
Yeah, I didn't look that up either.
Yeah, this is what I was reading when I was talking to you, Amber, this whole Polly and Alan thing. I'm like, okay, like I'm just kind of, I didn't even do much highlighting. I'm just like, yeah, just get through it. George Stark is talking to Alan in his dreams, which is, again, Dark Half. He's Thad's alter ego who comes to life when he tries to kill him. I think we talked about that. He's what's his, Richard Bachman trying to kill him, now talking to him in his dreams.
I feel like we should have read Dark Half before this.
I'm starting to, yeah, like maybe we should read it after, if nothing else. It's okay. A lot of Black Bird references. May have be an offshoot from The Stand. I think when George shows up, all the like birds do something. They flutter, or they show up, or they leave, or something.
Yeah, because I saw the repeated mention of like sparrow, and I was like, okay, something weird happened with birds.
Yeah,
Sure.
he just had birds in his head, butterflies in the air, whatever they say, birds in the air.
Bats in the Belfry, Birds in
No,
the Attic.
yeah, something like that. We also have, I had purchased, wait, who purchased it? Quarter 60. We're talking about Keaton. Left the house. Eddie Warburton, the janitor, had his St. Christopher's medal he purchased at Needful Things safely hidden under his blue chambray shirt.
Yeah, caught that.
Yeah, I caught that too. Also, wasn't Eddie the one that Gaunt was like, I can get close to Alan through him?
Yes.
That's, he's the one that called him, right? The second they left, even though he pretended he was paying no attention. But like, he seems like an odd choice.
Why?
I don't know. He doesn't really know anything about Alan or what he's doing at all. Like, why
Well, you
Well,
think
wouldn't,
they
when
need to.
they said Polly, I was like, okay, perfect. And he was like, no, too close. I'm like, what do you mean? You want to know what the fuck he's doing?
like for all of these pranks, they have to be like two, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Like
two
2 degrees
lines.
of separation.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it's like Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that just trying to put himself away from the event that's going to happen? Is there a reason he's doing that?
Well, it
This
makes it.
separation.
I'm sure there is. He seems to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
The notes were kind of funny for the, Nettie left for, Busted. I was about to say Nars
Well,
being,
I'm like, I don't understand why like, why would Norris even do that in the first place?
well, Norris is timid up to this point, right? Like Nettie almost.
Yeah, like he's not. He doesn't seem like the kind who would push back at all, let alone in that way. But you know what? So let me back up actually, because last time we were talking about like what's going on with Buster, and we said it was a little bit nefarious and a little bit mental health, and I think we were proven right.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot nefarious. He said he took so much money he couldn't even put it back and call it good at this point. Like we moved beyond that, and we're like, oh, okay. And then the one was like, I robbed this fund and I robbed the pension fund and I robbed this fund. I'm like, oh my god, dude, you deserve to be in jail or dead or something. What the fuck?
Maybe not dead, but
If
definitely.
you're robbing,
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
He definitely deserves to be persecuted
well, that's what
or
Enron did.
prosecuted.
Enron gave themselves all $1 million bonuses and went out of business, and everybody that had their 401ks, dude, I mean, was fucked.
But going back to my original point, I guess it doesn't really matter because he was kind of already cracking at that point. So it doesn't need to make sense because in his mind, he's just been proven right that somebody's after him.
Yeah, he's all obsessed on the persecutor, so he got persecuted.
And the fact that the notes say things like embezzlement and fraud and stealing.
Oh my God, yeah, I know, like Blair, like neon flashing letters on him, because that was another part of the tension, because what the fuck's her name? Myrtle was coming,
Yeah.
and he was trying to get him out of there before she saw any of them. And speaking of timid, my God, what is wrong with her?
I'm just waiting for the doll to start talking to her, like the
I,
doll talked to Ruth.
I know. I was like, not the damn dolls again.
I don't know if it's gonna, but I feel like it has to. Like, we love
I mean,
you,
it's not
Rose.
going to mean
Or Ruth.
nothing.
We all love you. Yeah, is it gonna start giving her instructions? I feel like it's gonna. There's no way. Why else is the doll in the damn store? Is that what she bought from him? Was it the doll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a doll. I think she has others.
There aren't many people left in this town that didn't make special deals.
Yeah, and I mean, again, this kind of proves to the magical point. It's like nobody's talking about it with anyone else. I don't even think they're aware of what they're doing, maybe. I don't know.
So that's what makes it work, right? Because everybody's sworn to secrecy and everybody's assuming something else. But the only people that actually know are people like Brian and Hugh. Nettie, well, she doesn't matter. But mostly Brian. And I feel like Hugh's just going to like kill himself here at some point soon. He's barely hanging on.
Brian?
Hugh.
Oh,
No, not Brian. Brian is the only one so far that has felt remorse and was like, I don't want to do this, dude. But then he was
well,
like,
Hugh.
but I want the card more than I don't want to do this.
Well, honestly, more than that. Or, go ahead, Allie.
No, I was just like, Hugh kind of felt bad about killing the dog after the fact. He was like, what did I just do? How could I do that? I have
Yeah.
to get out of here.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
That doesn't
And
help the dog.
also, Brian strangely felt good about throwing the rocks at the house.
He's a baseball player. He was practicing warm-up pitches. Maybe he hates Wilma. I mean, I'm sure she's got some kind of reputation in that town, right? He's like, but like once he started throwing them, he was like, yeah. Like Brian got kind of evil there for a little bit. He was like, I want this fucking card and I'll break every window in your goddamn house to prove it. And, oh yeah, here's a basement one. Yeah, let me break them on the way out.
Yeah, like that was a lot, even for rocks being thrown.
Yeah.
There is no way in fucking hell nobody heard that.
Well,
And then,
somebody did, but she didn't investigate.
right. I mean, so one person, I like when Nettie and, Wilma are out there fucking swinging utensils at each other, and they're like, "Hey, stop that! Hey, I'm gonna call the police." I'm like, I don't
I
think they
know.
give a shit.
Yeah.
We've moved beyond the part where they care if you call the police or not.
That exchange a little bit was just so northern to me. There's just a hi. Like, what are you doing? No, stop
Yeah.
that.
Stop it. Stop that right now.
Yeah. Hey, stop that! Stop that! What are you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, I can hear like wagging
There.
a finger at him. Stop that.
You know, like your eyes, you might think your eyes are tricking you, or your eyes might be tricking you, because like that's kind of very hard to process in real life.
Yeah.
I would probably do at least a double take and go, wait, is that like I would think they were play fighting. It's nothing else,
Right.
or cosplay or something like.
They're filming a movie or something.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
right. Everybody's always filming something. We had conversations with police officers yesterday about that. Nothing bad. Somebody the neighbors have a Kia and somebody tried to pop their lock cylinder out and take the car, but I think they got interrupted because they found the lock cylinder laying on the street. And the cop was saying like everything's like he's basically like doing the damn kids like thing, and he's like maybe instead of walking around these people walking around with their phones in their face recording everything, go live life for a little bit.
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir there, but
Wait, what does that have to? I missed the connection there.
everything was being recorded. I don't remember
No, like what does that have to do with kids having the phones in their hand?
because they're recording with the phone in their hand. He's saying they're walking around recording shit with their phone,
Oh, maybe
like for
I think I misheard you.
TikTok or
The
whatever.
people who were trying to break into the car were recording?
No, but we were
Yeah,
talking
I
to the
missed what
cop.
you said.
We were talking to the cop after that because they called the cops because of the police because they found their lock cylinder laying on the street. And he was saying, these kids are notorious to the point that we got a letter from Kia saying if you want a club, we'll give you one because everybody's stealing Kias.
Wow.
So we were talking to the cop just for a couple minutes after that was over, and he was saying it's like shit's getting worse because basically the kids got nothing to do, and then it led to go out and hang out in the park instead of walking around recording videos. So it was the cop's line of conversation.
I'm still not following, but I don't care
That's
now.
where he took it. So I don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I
Yeah.
think he was just doing a damn kids thing.
Right. That's exactly what that sounds like. Nobody wants to work these days.
Well, he
I
actually
mean,
cared more than the last cop I talked to when we got in an accident.
that was not what I meant. I don't know if you know that meme. I'll have to tell you that video afterward.
I guess I don't. I say Michelle's always telling the dogs, like, that's not the way we do this here. And I always look at her and I go, but what if it? I don't think she gets it. Anyway, yeah, so Buster is, I think, and so is he, so we've established like some kind of mental instability, possibly genetic in the family. So did his gambling problems come from his mental issues?
I don't think that's how it works.
I was wondering, is, can that be a thing?
I
Is that
think
a thing?
I think you can have a gambling addiction and be schizophrenic, but I don't think one leads to the other. Well, gambling might trigger a schizophrenic break depending on the stress you're under because of it.
Maybe you're not making the smartest decision. Yeah, I don't know. Can
But I
schizophrenia
don't
lead
think
to
schizophrenia
gambling?
makes you gamble.
What?
No.
I'll have to ask someone. Hopefully they have hands that aren't twisted in knots when I ask them.
I think the addiction part of the brain is very closely connected to obviously other mental health.
How was
But
he?
go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I was changing the subject.
Changes. That's it. I'm done.
He does, I guess, because these are all written 30 years ago. He does a lot of Indian references for Native American stuff, and sometimes I cringe. And then I watched a commercial last week, where not a commercial, one of those like History Channel, like the Unexplained, and it was like a Native American guy calling himself an Indian. Oh, they're talking about Sitting Bull. There's a Sitting Bull special. They were calling themselves Indians, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know how to feel right now because I spent the last 5 years trying to not say that word ever again, and now they're
Well,
using it.
the Indians still exist either way.
Well, that's not my point.
You said try to not use that word ever. That's a whole country.
They don't care. There's so many people they ride like on. Never mind. I should.
Yeah.
They've had some serious train tragedies over there because they're so overcrowded and so many people on the trains when something does go wrong. You ever see the video where they're like hanging off the side and out the window and sitting on the top?
I mean, they have a lot of like public health crises because it's so overpopulated. It's like a just like everything it's more polluted. There's more waste everywhere. There's not as much healthcare available.
All the call centers are over there. That's just me complaining.
Yeah.
And I know everybody always, China's always the one that's notorious for having too many people, but India is like worse, I think. Like there's, when we got in arguments with certain people who say they have backyards so the world's not overcrowded, I think they don't have backyards in India. I think it is like that over there. Maybe not everywhere, but like most of your cities, there's not many places to move.
So yeah, they exist.
Well, yeah, that was never my point. That's
I'm kidding.
that's a whole different, like, kind of person, nationality. I'm saying that wrong. It's a whole different race than what I'm
Those
talking about.
people.
Yeah. What do you mean, you people?
Anyway, what was your did they say that Indian in the book? I don't even remember that.
Yeah. The Lone Ranger and his faithful Indian companion Tonto.
Yeah, I didn't catch
And
that.
he does that a lot. And sometimes my point was I would cringe now when I see that, but then I watch that special. I'm like, I don't know if I should be cringing or not.
Yeah.
Is it still Columbus Day? They still call it that, right?
No, I mean some. I've heard both.
And he just, he thought he was somewhere he wasn't. That's not his fault. That's why
Well,
are they still called the West
you
Indies?
want to go? I mean, was slave? Never mind, I can't even make that joke.
You want to say it so bad? Yeah, I mean, well, that was just the way the world was, and everybody was a slave, or
Wasn't really anybody's fault.
we hadn't evolved enough. It was our fault. We needed to get smarter about shit. Stupid ancestors. When it comes to embezzlement, a CBA can do a better job than most. I guess that's true, but he wasn't.
What happens to what's his name in Ozark? Wait, is that what happens? Does he? No, I guess he kind of leaves right away.
Well, he
Never
was an
mind.
accountant. Well, what do you
No,
mean?
yeah, they got caught. Wasn't he embezzling at the beginning with his partner?
His partner
No,
got
he was.
caught or killed, and then he got.
No, they were just stealing from the drug dealers. That's right. Okay, never mind.
Oh, yeah, small potatoes.
But he's a CPA. That's why.
He was. I guess he still was.
Yeah, he was a Ozark CPA after that.
Casino CPA.
Anyway, sorry. Too many tangents.
Right, spoiler. Ozark's not that old. He said, do you know what a Ouija board is? So I feel like this, how come he only had 18 grand? I feel like if I knew every race of every horse, I would have bet the farm. And he's
I
talking,
think he.
go ahead.
I mean, I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but he knows that if he wins too much all at once, people are gonna be suspicious.
Yeah, who, the track? He's going to bookies. Like that was my first, I was like, wait, why is he using a bookie? Bet everything on the first race, take everything you win, bet that on the second race. Like just cumulative it until you got, I mean, they might not want you to come back tomorrow, but you'll be good for the day. And then go to another, Lewiston isn't the only raceway.
Can they ban you if you're winning of natural luck?
I don't know. Casinos will do it. If you win too much at casino, they'll kick your ass out, whether you're cheating or not. They
I
just
feel the
assume.
racetrack would be the same.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. Like they just assume you're cheating, I guess, if you win too much. They're
Right.
like, we can't prove it, but get the fuck out.
And it's a private business, so whatever.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Vegas wasn't built because everybody wins. So if you start winning, they're gonna put a stop to that. Like you get out there and lose, and you're good,
Yeah, because they don't want to lose the money.
So there you go. Just go and keep losing forever.
and then we'll be friends. Um, it's gone too far to put the money back. There's more tracks than I can brush away in 5 days. Then he's like, oh, I can change in 5 days. So yeah, like I don't think he plans on being around very long.
Reading that whole part, I'm like, I didn't steal any money, and I feel nervous for him for some reason.
Well, I know. So clearly he's an awful person. He's also like clearly the hammer's falling, and I kind of feel bad anyway, even though he's a shitty person. Like, oh, this
Right.
is
Like
all
I
gonna get
feel
him like right at once.
right. Like a part of me was kind of rooting for him. Like you can actually maybe get away with it, and then I'm like, wait, why am I rooting for him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, go bet all your money, put it all back, and like, whatever, get some extra, and whatever happens, happens. You might not keep your job, but you're gonna be out of jail. And like, but then, yeah, and same thing. Like, well, no, fuck him. He should be in jail.
Yeah, right. He should be investigated and not have his power
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, he should get caught and pay for it. Not literally, because that's not gonna happen. So I don't know. Yeah, and he's not even likable. I don't know why I wanted. I guess just for the fun of the book. But yeah,
It just reminds me of that show. I almost got away with it, and it's like you're always rooting for them, even though they like murdered someone pretty good.
I used to say, I was like, the show would be way cooler if it was thought I got away with it. And I'm like, well,
Right?
I don't know how they would actually do that. Come to think of it, because if you got away with it, nobody knows the story,
Almost that's like a deathbed confession type of thing.
right? Then we'll just change the name of the show
I'm
to that.
about to die, so let me tell you the story.
Yeah, seal it in an envelope. Do not open till I die.
Yeah, and then they don't die.
Right? And then we freeze you, and you come back in 50 years when we figure out the technology to serve a life sentence. Well, that's an interesting angle. They freeze you and then wake you back up to put you in jail for
What
something
a
they
just thought
figured
of
out you
like
did while you were frozen.
what a waste of technology.
Well, we can make a movie about it instead.
Well, I was
Maybe
thinking it'd
Wesley
be so
Snipes.
interesting
Go ahead, sorry.
if you're trying to get someone to confess to something, so you make them believe that they're dying, not for
Well,
the show, but just like to record it, and then like they're not actually dying, and then you have it recorded, and I can start an investigation or whatever.
I
It's not foolproof,
wonder how
but
legal
it
that
could
would
be a
be.
movie,
Yeah, I wonder how
right?
legal that would be. I mean, you could like probably get fired for something like that. I don't know if you're good at jail. That's what happened to
Fired. Oh, as a cop?
the guy that owned the Los Angeles Clippers basketball team got secretly recorded without his permission making a bunch of racist, rants. So the NBA kicked him out. Like he got fired from his team and they made him sell it, but there's no criminal charges they can do.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
As I've learned, it's not illegal to be an awful person.
Well, in the opposite direction, the court of public opinion can be harsher. So
Yeah, that's a scary place to be. I got to tell you, I don't know that I'd want to have to go through that because it's almost doesn't know anything and is very judgy. Anyway, where are we at? I'm in Polly's trip still. A goodish name, Kelton. Too bad Polly wasn't married to Buster. We could have Kelton Keaton.
that would be cute.
I forgot where I was at, so I'm just kind of looking at what I highlighted.
Yeah, looking over.
Well, the Riverside has a button I can hit that gets rid of all pauses longer than 2.5 seconds. And every time we say or it gets rid of them too. So I use that every time. So I don't feel bad if I just sit here and not say anything for 20 seconds.
Get
I'm just going to John
it.
D. McDonald
Go ahead.
is referenced in a lot. I have no idea who that guy is.
John D. McDonald?
Yeah, he's one of the like authors that he always talks about. When somebody's reading something, it's a John D. McDonald paperback. Like I know the other authors mostly. I don't know that guy. It's probably like Sergio Lil.
I was looking for that page because I wrote down a quote at the bottom where she says, if she had looked at her reflection in the hallway mirror, she would have seen a woman who appeared to be screaming, but she did not look. So I'm like, is that just a metaphor or like, was that her soul like
Kind of glossed over
screaming
that,
for help?
but now that I'm thinking about it, well, wait a minute. Her reflection is not doing the things she's doing. First of all, there's a bunch of movies about that kind of shit. Oculus,
Yeah.
Mirror. So if someone else had looked, would they have seen her screaming?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't even know if that matters. The fact that they're telling us she would have seen it and she didn't see it, I'm like, what does that mean? Is there a ghost?
He
Yeah, I
does
guess
that
you're
shit all the
saying
time.
same thing.
If he'd have went left, we would have been safe, but he didn't. He went right. So now this.
So I'm wondering if it's like, well, she didn't have the item yet.
Then why was she screaming?
Yeah,
Was
I
this
don't
an
know. I
arthritis
don't
thing?
understand. Wait,
Yeah,
did
I
she
think
have
it
it?
was from pain.
Or was that actually like what her face looked like?
I think that's what I
I
think.
read
I
it
think she was
as
covering up how she felt because she was talking to Alan.
yeah, I read it as one of those like your voice is not saying what your face is saying.
I see.
She's always like, "I'm fine," whether she is or not. So
So that's
she's like,
like
"I'm
literal,
fine,"
yeah.
but the mirror says how she really felt.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I didn't obsess on it too much. Kind of a cool.
I
I've
just
seen a
didn't.
lot of
Well, because
movies where
we haven't had any like apparitions. Well, besides Gaunt, because he can apparently be invisible,
yeah, it's not a lot of ghosts and demons. It's just everybody going crazy.
and one demon,
Oh, he's pretty high up of the ladder. I think. I wonder who he reports to. Who's his manager?
Flag.
Right? Who calls a teams meeting that he has to show up for?
The Crimson King.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe Walter. I don't know if maybe they're both there. Like you see them both like, oh crap, I gotta take this. Nettie.
Oh, I'm going through my highlighted parts too, and I love in one part it says, in one of those grotesque coincidences with no decent novelist would dare invent. Yeah, you're doing that.
He likes to do that. I like how he
He's
calls
not
out
decent.
Pop Merrill. He's like, there used to be a guy who was good at trading, dickering as he called it, but he's not around anymore. He had
Is that the guy who owned
yeah, that's
the
Ace's
junk
dad
show?
who had the Emporium. So I guess he did a lot of. So then I was like, well, wait a minute. Have you been here before? Do you know this guy? Yeah, he really fucks Brian. He's like tough titties. Like, I don't give a shit if you like it. You're going to do it again, and you're going to keep doing it until I tell you that I'm done, which I'm assuming is never going to happen.
Yeah.
And then his whole bargaining chip is if you don't, I'm going to tell your dad what you did, tell somebody what you did, I think.
I think it was just like, I don't even remember what it
You don't
was.
want
I
everybody in
got the,
Castle Rock to know you were the one who started the avalanche. Oh, so he's kind of
yeah.
vague about it. Yeah, I think I'd just have to deal with that because you can stop the avalanche still. Well, this was before they died. Now I don't know that you can. Now Brian's fucked. Like he's not gonna say nothing. He's probably fucking suicidal at this point because he knows. Assuming as soon as he hears about Nettie and Wilma, he's gonna know why that happened, and it was mostly his fault, or for Sandy Koufax. who was never my favorite anyway.
I forgot he was a baseball player when he appeared in a dream. I was like, oh yeah, that's who the card was.
Yeah, it was an interesting dream. A lot of weird people saying stuff. I'm trying to get out of this damn. But all right, chapter 10 is, that's a good point. A lot of New England towns are named after Europe towns. I never thought about that until you said that. Her dolls never shouted. They never ignored. They never asked her how she got so stupid. Did it come that? Why is she with this guy? He does not do one nice thing for her until he did for a couple hours. But that was only because he made a bunch of money and thought he was going to get one over on people. But she spent, I don't know, years, I'm assuming, living, I guess, kind of in fear of this guy. Like, why are you putting yourself through that?
I think that unfortunately that happens a lot in real life, so I believe that.
At first, the
Yeah.
smile frightened her. He thought it might mean he was getting ready to kill her. Like, oh, hey, now that sounds like in movies we've been watching.
Mm.
That was, what movie did I just watch where they were doing I think it was a Stephen King movie. It wasn't The Monkey, was it? I think it was the one before that. They were doing a bunch of evil smile, and I'm like, okay, come on. Now that's going to be like a thing in every movie.
Well, maybe.
I mean, there was always a little bit of a thing, Evil Dead's good at it. They've always done that.
I mean, yeah, I would say it's always been a thing. It's just like I think it's more of like when it's not. It's just regular people smiling that is creepy like that.
Maybe I just notice it more now. I don't know. I think I'm kind of good. What do you guys think? Did we miss anything? What's chapter 10? Chapter 10 is, oh, well, we already talked about chapter 10 because that's all the fight. Let me see what
One note, I don't think it means anything. I noted that Nettie does care more about Raider than the lampshade because as soon as she finds Raider dead, she doesn't she just leaves it. She doesn't even lock the house.
True.
I don't think she was expecting to come back after that.
that's a good point. No, I don't think she was. I don't think she cared about, she said that, didn't she? I'll be with
Yeah,
you
she
soon.
said like, yeah, wait for me, Raider. I'll be with you soon.
Yeah, Nettie wasn't coming back. So I guess the carnival
But
glass
you know
didn't
what?
matter if you're not coming back.
If he's collecting souls, it doesn't matter if they die anyway. It's better that they die sooner. So I guess that doesn't even matter.
You have to die for him or someone to get your soul. Can they just take it while you're alive? And would you know?
Hold on, let me Google it.
Anybody seen well, Google took your soul already.
That's true.
Serpent in the Rainbow. I think we might have tried to watch it. So it's a guy goes to Haiti, voodoo, and blah 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 stuff. And I think so. One of the, what are they called? Hongans. I'm saying it wrong. So I probably should stop trying. One of the evil voodoo priests has a secret room in the back, and it's just filled with all these jars that are people's souls. There's I don't know, 100 of them. And I think they take his soul, but he's still alive, so he's kind of like a zombie because he doesn't have his soul. Anyway, we got to put that on our list. That's a good movie. Would it be better to? Can he take your soul before you die? I guess is my point. Is it going to be better to die soon, or can I put it off? Live to 100 and say, haha.
It's still I don't know how that works, but
Eternity's still a long time, even if you
yeah.
put it off. What's wrong with Buster? I don't feel like that's that bad. Unless it's you're a Buster. Being the biggest cocksucker in Castle. Wish I could have wrote those notes. I'd had a good time. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. Nettie was, Buster was 8 miles away, and Nettie was just sitting down to watch TV. I was like, oh my God, get the fuck out. You better write some notes. And she wrote all them notes in those 8 miles. Jeez, she was working.
Yeah, I didn't
And
even
that,
think about that.
he,
Walking in, right?
he did a good job of that tension and that whole interchange. I felt like that should have been the end of part one right there. After them two went at it, but we had the whole Alan at the hospital thing after that, which I don't. Yeah, they said, my dear little doggy, you wait for me. You wait, because I'll be with you soon. That's oh fuck. Nettie had the cleaver, right? And Wilma had the.
The knife, yeah.
Yeah, if you're walking down shit with a meat cleaver, you're not planning on going back home anytime. Hey you, stop that. Police murder. And so she's like, murder. I'm like, somebody's getting murdered. There's actually a show on Hulu. What the fuck's it on? Paramount? Peacock? I think it's Peacock. About Kensington. Do you know what Kensington, Amber? It's where they buy all the heroin in Philly and all the junkies are lining the streets and shit. There's a show about it. What's her
Isn't
name?
that or
Who's from
crocodile?
Kensington? What?
The crocodile is really popular there.
Might be. There's a Drugs Inc. just on Kensington, so that's how popular it is. And I can't remember her name. She's from that area, and she's now a Hollywood actress, and they're doing a show about drug infested Kensington. Murder Dirter reminded me of that, so I wanted to tell you. because
Mm.
that's Philly too. And later on that page, we have our JFK reference. I think there's a bunch in this one. Go figure. Geological formation on the moon that looks like the face of JFK. I don't even know what that would look like. So I haven't even made it to Alan yet. I think I'm good. Are we good?
Yeah, I got everything in my notes.
Chapter 11. I'm just looking. I mean, they talk about the autopsy. Yeah, it's just Kim kind of reflecting and Polly. Does Polly already have the thing on her neck? Anyway, we're good. Fuck it. So,
Well, he's realizing that everything's just a little bit too neat.
oh, his whole reflection was how it ended on the timeline. And I do like that. So Alan's the only one that's suspicious. And he really, to this point, he hasn't connected anything with the new store guy, but I feel like that's coming. He's our protagonist and we got our antagonist and the two haven't even met yet, but that's going to have to happen. Especially now, 'cause he made it all up close and personal because he got Polly involved and put the slithery snake thing that's like eating her soul on her neck. He was like, sure, your hands will be great. You're not going to have eternity to use them. Oh, what does it even mean
Talk
when they
about,
take your soul? Like, what does that do to you? You like just live in the jar where they're keeping it?
are you being
They're
tortured
like, they're
forever?
like, hey, can I get a table or a book or something?
Well, supernatural, you basically just become like chaotic neutral.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like a zombie or something. Like, not real. You don't really have a brain
You
or a
have
function.
moral compass. Like
Yeah,
you'll do whatever you need to do to further your goals, damn anyone else.
I can see that. Sheila had tickets to see Bill Cosby in Portland. I mean, how often does Bill
Uh,
Cosby come to Maine? So now I'm like, did he really go to Maine? And I wonder what happened. Who saw him
yeah.
and who woke up later?
Yeah. That made me think, man, this is gonna happen so often. All of these people who were just lifelong predators that we're gonna see mentioned before they were out, before they were caught.
I mean, yeah, like, he
And
didn't do anything wrong.
it's nobody's fault. It's just like it made me think like it's gonna keep happening a lot.
Oh, it's somebody's fault, but it's not Stephen King's fault.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, especially, we're going back to, this is what, 90 something? 90, I forget what we said, 94? 90, I think it's earlier than that. I feel like this is after the Dark Half. We might put it at 90, 91.
I think it's 91,
I feel like we got to read Dark Half next. This keeps up. Yeah, so Alan's doing the timeline.
92. No, wait, 91. Yeah.
Where was the thought? This is so where do we go next? Oh, so part two, the sale of the century. Well, that's not gonna end bad. So I'm assuming, so we still got the two religious factions, haven't even gotten really going yet. And I remember that being a thing for sure. And I think Reverend Willie's one of them screamer, preachy, like cowboy hat guys, like Southern Protestant, typical, I guess you would say. Like
Hmm.
Revival, your favorite.
Yeah, he's the one that has the with like
Yeah.
everything is.
That was so weird. I didn't get what he was doing there. Like, is that how he talked?
Yeah. Well, it'd be more like didn't get
Right. Should
what?
have changed it to like AH, like everybody else in Maine. Going on a patty bod. Okay, so what are we reading? Part two. That's a little long. About 300 pages for part two. So
I feel like we shouldn't because we'll have too much to talk about.
that's probably true. 13, 14, 15. So what do we got? 12, 13, 14, 18, 16?
Let me see.
Think
About
we're going to or
through 16? About 150 pages.
I'm sure I can't find it, but that's fine.
Mine has 440 to 594.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, no, I got that wrong. Through 16 is going to be over 200 pages. Maybe we just do through 15 because that'll take us to about 150 pages. And then we can do the next three for the next episode.
so stop at 16.
Stop at 16. 12 through 15. It's the sale of the century. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what happens. Well, these books are fun because I kind of know what happens, but I kind of don't remember all the details. So it's like finding out all over again. So, okay. Amber, next weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a Stephen King. I have all kinds of stuff lined up for you to watch. I don't know if we'll get to it, but we never almost do. It's hard to watch movies when you don't, nobody shuts the hell up the whole time.
Yeah.
All right. 2 weeks. Everybody good?
Yep.
End of the podcast. Everybody say bye.
Bye.